So here we've got game 15, second day of the Trans-Tasman challenge, coming to you from Mount Eden in Auckland. Paul Richards from Australia facing off against Dylan Early,
Yeah.
a previous winner and currently ranked number 3 in New Zealand. Good luck to them both. Here we go.
So this is my third time seeing Paul on stream, so I think I'm getting a little bit more attuned to his style. See
Mm.
if I can make a little bit better predictions as to what he's going to do. Paul seems to be a very open, um, maybe, yeah, more open, more like aggressive-ish type of player. He has a pretty good rack. It doesn't have a bingo in it, I don't think, but almost has a few eights. It's kind of one of those racks you want to go second with.
So
Dylan's rack is also good.
Porngos is Paul's rack.
Yeah. So stuff like prong, pongo.
Pongo putting the P on the double letter, or prong, right?
Yep. He plays prong.
Leaving an O and an S. Good to keep that. Oh
Yep.
dear. So Dylan's got all vowels, two A's, an E, three I's, and an O. So I think it looks like a change for him. I'd be very surprised if he
It
doesn't.
isn't
Oh,
it is an exchange, but it's actually kind of an interesting rack still. He doesn't elect to keep an A. You can actually keep an A there. You normally don't want to keep an A, but with that many vowels, you actually care about removal a little bit. And the A is still like positive, so you can consider keeping it. You don't have to. I think it's one of those borderline situations. It's one of those things that I probably care about too much. Uh,
irritable vowels.
yeah,
So yeah, Dylan's changed and drawn. Oh, drawn a Q, two L's and an
yeah.
N, as well as another E.
So
So
Paul has a Straka, but it doesn't take an S. So I'm a little bit worried both that he has to find Ostraka and he has to not play Ostrakas.
so
Um,
that's Ostraca.
yeah, he also has Sakaton, so he can just bingo. But yeah, um, I'm a little bit worried that he doesn't have it lined up yet, so that's good. But that's one of those things that can be a little bit tricky because you have to know that Ostraka comes from Ostrakhan.
Ah, I see. Like the collar. Yeah. Oh,
I'm not sure what it means. I guess I could look it up. Ostraka.
so he's got two A's, a C, an O, an S, and a T. Um,
Yeah. So you have AS Coast, so like C Coast to be at an E. So,
so Sakatons plays through the N of prong. Okay.
yep.
There we go. A type of coarse perennial grass growing in the southern US.
hmm
Sakaton.
Okay, Paul likes to play coat on top.
And leaving himself with two S's, which is not always the best. Dylan's got QEELLNN.
hmm
So no I for his Q.
Yeah, he's gonna probably exchange again. The wreck is not improved. Um,
So Dylan, originally from oh, he is changing.
yeah.
Dylan originally from South Africa and has won the Masters 7 times in South Africa, and also 2018 Nationals champion and 2019 Masters champion. And he has won this tournament before as well. Currently number 3 in New Zealand.
hmm
So 2 changes from Dylan.
So Paul is one of those rare problems that you sometimes have in Scrabble. It's too many S's.
Yes,
Um,
but a blank as well. That's great. So
yeah, but
ABN, double S, blank, and what's that other letter? Is that
ABANSSS blank.
Oh, three S's. Wow.
Good grief. Dylan just cannot draw. This rack is still not any. It's a little bit better, I guess, but still not very good. Um,
Well,
Paul has
surprisingly, there's no bingos in that rack. Well, not unsurprisingly, really, with three S's. Um, Anything through the G of prong? No.
I think Paul only has like Snab or something. He plays. What does he play? Plays Sab. Okay. I would have liked to see Snab a little bit just to create an S hook that was a little bit better than the one after Arb. But this should work perfectly well. And he does draw bingo, but not a common bingo. This has to find things like lysines or something of that.
Good find. Yeah. So
Um,
so with it making the blank the E.
yeah.
So
Dylan actually
INLY.
might exchange again here. um,
He's lined up Roup or Roop on his
un-
ROUP.
ungroup.
Ungroup. Oh, okay, yeah, ungroup through the G of prong. Okay, that would be a good way to get rid of two U's.
Yeah, you should be a little bit nervous when Paul plays Sab for no points. You kind of know that he has an S. So that might change his plan a little bit, but it might not. Because Paul's kind of flipped over the fact that he has at least one more S and often two. And I completely understand this play. He doesn't want these S hooks anymore. Upo does not take an S.
No, just the N,
So,
isn't it?
yeah, which
And
Paul
he's
has.
got, yeah, he's got the N. Dylan leaves himself with ENUR.
But Dylan has
Good
the E
leave.
in it too. Um, Paul also has Lindsay's if he knows it, or if he can find it, for a double-double. But if he doesn't find that, he might actually have some trouble here.
Yep, so just three in that rack. Well done. Lindsay's, Lysines, and Sylvan's making the blank a V.
Mm-hmm.
SYLV. Must be something to do with woodland. Oh no, a native potassium chloride. I mean,
So
making that blank a vowel is always a good idea. I mean, do you do that, Kenji? Just go like if you're consonant heavy, just particularly an E. Would you think of an E?
I would
Um,
generally I probably would find Sylvan's first, but that's because I try to go from least likely to most likely, and the E is probably the most likely. But generally, yeah, with this rack you want to be looking at vowels, primarily E, A, mostly those two vowels.
and it looks like Paul's looking at the less suffix, the adjectival suffix less, L-E-S-S. But yes, exactly. Having one S at the front and one S at the back is often the way you go with two S's.
Mm-hmm. Probably also looking at the O a little bit, because that O is a tempting floater. It does go with yin.
Yin. Okay. So still two S's on his rack and used his only vowel.
Mm-hmm.
But he's got that blank still. Dylan's lined up Lurex.
Yeah, but I think he's playing XU probably.
XU on top of Yin.
Yeah. I,
Just a nice little hot spot.
right, and Dylan knows that the S's are still on Paul's rack, so he wants to kill the yin spot. At least make it a little harder to use. He could play Linux as well, but I don't think he wants to keep that yin spot open. But if you wanted to play Linux, that would also be reasonable, especially if you don't use the S inference. But yeah, he does go with XU. I'm not
XU.
surprised.
Good. And also probably good to get rid of the heavier tiles and the U. And left himself with Loner, Loner, which is bingo conducive.
Yeah.
Picks up a C and an E.
So I do expect Paul to find a bingo here. There's quite a bit now. It's not just two or three, it's a lot. Um, is there anything fantastic? I'm not sure.
So Paul has ILOSST blank,
Hmm.
and looking for something maybe that starting with an S on ARB or an S on Yins. There's only one that starts with the S, and he's found it there. He's got it set up on his rack. Well, he did.
You do want to look for longer bingos here. I mean, this is a pretty tempting rack. So that you have the UN, you have even ARB and OPA. Always worth like looking. You almost have like a bunch of things here. Even OPA is like tempting.
He has already lined up soloist, so that's always something to fall back on. Maybe he's just exploring other alternatives now, as you say. Um, would you, in terms of positioning, Kenji, just play it under ARB there? ARBs and soloist?
Probably if I don't see anything better. Um, I would be looking for something better for sure. It's almost a lot of things. Tossily under it, it seems to be better. Under Sab.
Um, hooking on to,
Oh, Opa's Arbs, BO, tossily under there. So that's probably what I would end up playing.
yeah, and certainly not under Og, because I guess that means a parallel play into the triple word skull.
Yeah. Um, it feels like there might be some like fantastic like 10 here. I would be thinking for a while about it. I don't see one though.
Well,
Uh,
and again, electing just to play short there. Maybe I thought he'd set up soloists at some point. Maybe it was just for chance.
maybe he saw it, but he saw it as a different letter and then decided against it. I don't know.
So
Uh,
Paul elects to play TIL, till, which takes E, L, S, and T, and of course he does have two S's. But Dylan also has an E, so he could play tile in that triple lane if he wanted to come down there, or just maybe he can sense now that Paul's setting up a spot for himself.
yeah, he'll also play Till. Uh, again, Dylan doesn't have a very good rack, but he's
No,
sticking around. He's managing to stick around when he has clearly not very good tiles.
he's only got eights there, and nothing to play through apart from the L at the moment, which isn't that useful.
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, I thought that. Yeah, so the E goes on to tile, and he
Mhm.
plays cold, COLE, into the top right hand corner, leaving very nice ERN. That's a great leave.
It's worth noting that Dylan is doing a very good job of knowing that he's behind in range. He knows that Paul's rack is better than his,
Mm.
and he's just making it as difficult as possible and keeps making it as difficult as possible. And as a result, he's staying in range when he just clearly does not have the best rack.
No, he's not letting Paul get back into the game. He's realizing, he might be opening the board. Oh,
Did you play just say Sav and
yeah, but with Yo's is not
Joey?
allowed. Yeah, Yo's is.
Okay.
Yeah, so maybe,
So
maybe Paul's realised that. Oh no, it's been challenged. Okay, so yeah, Yo is a sort of exclamative, isn't it? It doesn't take an S. Some of
yeah.
them do, of course, don't they? Yeah, but not Yo.
Okay. So
Yar
Dylan
takes an
knows
S.
that Paul has SOV. So it is interesting if you can use that here. You could just ignore it and play something like Bander.
You have the two E's, so A B D E R N.
Mhm. You could play something like Bailed as well.
Yeah,
Um,
it might just block it further, playing the B on top of tile. BAE, I don't know, B or BEL.
I'll probably play Bailed over that. I don't think that there's any reason to try to keep a bingo leave on a board where there's no hooks or places to play a bingo unless you have an S, and he doesn't have one.
Also, the B font in the top right hand corner making bow and bailed BALED. Yeah,
Right, and he's not afraid of a bingo because he knows that if Paul had a bingo rack, he would have played it, and he knows that Paul has VO.
yeah.
So I think he's going to be a little bit more aggressive and willing to score points rather than being super blocky with something like Bell.
Yes,
Something
that
like
would be a lot more points bailed, wouldn't it? 6, 7, 8, 9.
it's
30,
30.
34?
Yeah,
34? Yeah.
and Bander's 38, so he could do that too. But Bander leaves floaters. I think he's going to probably not play that because he's afraid that he's going to give Paul an 8. Oh, guess I'm wrong. Let's play Bander.
Vander and Yob. Okay, reaching the triple score
Hmm.
and just leaving an E on his rack. Now, I don't think Paul's got anything with those letters. Quite clunky with the two S's and the two O's.
He actually has oversows.
Wow.
Um, but I'm not sure he's going to know that that's good. He has it lined up. He is playing it.
Wow.
Nice
Over
Paul.
so's. Yeah, yeah, why not? Yeah.
Nice fine Paul.
Brilliant. Too much sewing over so's. Yeah.
And Dylan continues to draw ridiculously badly.
Poor old Dylan. Yeah, it's already changed twice at the beginning.
He's going to
Yeah,
change again.
it makes sense for Paul, yeah, to look for an over word with that V. Yeah, once the E had been given
Yeah.
from Banders. Yeah, very good. Good find, Kenji. Over so's.
Um,
So, yeah, again, Dylan's staring into irritable vowels.
this is
Two
again one of those
eyes.
situations you want to think about keeping an eye. You don't. I'm not sure what the right play is, but you have the C. That's a decent floater. The I does bingo quite a bit with EN. You have an
So,
open S on the board.
would you have kept EIN then?
I would have thought about it. I'm not sure if
Yeah.
I would have or not. It would be you'd have to go through the entire pool. You'd kind of want to look at the val balance. You want to look at how many eyes are in the bag. Um, it's
Uh,
one of those things that doesn't matter too much, but you still want to think about it.
yeah, I would have kept EIN there. Maybe if you're throwing back an I, it's the less chance that you're going to pick up an I. He's picked up all consonants.
I think you picked up another E, but yeah,
So Paul has QI set up on his rack, or Quade, that's right, or Quadi.
yeah. You
Still
just
has
picked
that
up the other
blank.
blank. Yeah. Um,
Can you read that rack? It's QAIDEF blank.
yeah. He's probably setting up. He has QI. You can play Kaids or something like that to the S. I think that's what he has set up. Oh, he just plays QI over there. That makes sense. Uh, so Dylan has an option of playing LEW for 4, setting up the K. I don't think he's gonna do it, but I'm just pointing that out. Um, yeah, he can play Kennels. He can play Luke. Is Luke good yet? Actually, I'm not sure if it is.
LUKE.
LEWK.
Oh, LEWK.
It's not good yet. It's
No.
it's about to be good.
Okay.
Um,
From the new lexicon. Yeah.
yeah,
And there's a lot of debate now in New Zealand whether we're gonna. It looks like we will be moving to that new lexicon next year.
yeah.
Oh, that's
Uh,
much better. Wow, the blur's gone, and much easier to read the letters now. So
yeah. So Dylan is Kennel or Ken. Um,
Paul still has that second blank. So ADEEIF blank. Is he looking at something like aerify though? You what? Yeah, you can have arified, like rarefied without the R.
yeah.
Um, really need something ending in an S, and there is an 8 ending in that S of oversows, or either S of oversows.
So Dylan's thinking about what he's gonna do now because he's still not doing well, but he doesn't know that Paul's rack's good, even though it is. His rack's bad. He has nothing great to do. He probably knows he needs a second blank. He has lots of options that are kind of close. Um, he wants to open the top left. The top left is dying.
Mm,
Uh, and if he doesn't do anything about it, it just will never open. So, like the stun hook, he really cares about that because it's one of the only ways of getting to the top left.
sure.
Um,
I mean, he just plays hen into that corner, and
yeah,
in a way he's blocked that bottom S, but Paul could still come along onto that middle S of oversows. There's two eights that end in a S. One
hmm
is Fedaries, Fedaries,
which he has set up.
and yes, he's got that set up. And the other one is Madefies, Madefies.
hmm He also doesn't have to bingo. He,
And that
okay.
is also okay. Yeah, Fedari
Yep.
without the S. A confederate in Shakespearean English. There you go. Fedari.
Yep. I suspect that Dylan's going to place that I, something like kidney or kindly.
Oh yes, that would be nice. Kidney or kindly onto the triple word score.
Yeah, the Y is a very good lane too, which Dylan desperately needs. Um,
Or even Kindle. But yeah, kindly uses up that wine and would gain more points,
and the
obviously.
Y is a good lane, but it's not a good tile to keep. There are a lot of words that end in Y, but that's kind of the only use for the Y in terms of bingos, so you probably want to create that line rather than
And
keep it on your rack.
that's right. And why not keep that E? I mean, if he can. So looking to play through that I
If he
probably.
does play kindly, it's going to get mit by Eulogier, which Paul has set up. Um, so I hope for Dylan's sake he plays kidney, but there's no way for him
Right.
to.
Yeah.
Kidney is actually probably better because L and T work a lot better with the Y versus kindly keeps ET, which is a
He's
better lead but doesn't work with the Y as well.
he's
And
looking at
kidney
kindly. He's got kindly set up.
I think kidney is better though because the L and the T work better with the Y, and it scores 3 more.
Yeah, the D gets on the double word score.
Yeah.
Kindly's going to go down though, which
Okay.
allows
Here comes
Paul to
Eulogier.
bingo.
Yep.
Um, yeah, so eulogia with an E on the end.
Yeah.
Eulogii. It must be something to do with praise, like eulogy.
I think it's the bread that's used during prayers, if I remember correctly. I'm not
Okay.
100% sure,
Mm.
but it's a very useful word, kind of like Eteria last game,
Yeah.
where
So
it's
yeah,
with
you're
like
right. You're right.
resistance.
Holy bread, eulogia.
Yeah.
Now he did have that set up before. Oh, Strange. Okay, he did have it set up.
Interesting.
Ogiae. It would have fit as well. Would have fitted just nicely through the L of kindly. Eulogii. But
Yeah.
no, maybe that was just by chance, or maybe
Maybe he chickened out of it, or I think more likely he didn't think it fit.
yes, yeah. I've done that before, haven't you? Like you just not
Yeah.
counted the squares properly.
Or he just forgot. That's the other thing that I've also done before. Is just forgotten that that's a word.
Yeah, I have a tendency to write them down when I see something. As it's a candidate play, I'll write it down. Even the score. Zell's very nice in that top right.
I want to note real quick. Dylan plays Zell, but he doesn't even consider playing the S here. Like,
No, yeah. So 48 for Zell, is it? Yeah, with the
yeah,
Z on the double word score.
yeah. I guess, yeah. Okay, but
So Dylan
like
does have a bingo there. A
he
E
played
I
like
S triple T.
he could have played Zek too. I believe, right? Right where Paul's playing.
I see. Yes, through the K of kindly.
Yeah, I think that might have been an oversight. I don't think that. I think he would have played Zek if he saw it.
So Paul's just played joke
Joke.
on the
Yeah.
A of Federi, and that J is on the triple letter
Yeah.
score.
That's a big swing, actually, because Zek would have scored a lot more and it would have blocked Paul's J for a lot more. And in addition, Dylan would have gotten Atetist, making stun and TI, and probably scored about 75 rather than Tatties here. So it's actually a pretty big swing that we just kind of it happened very, very quickly, but it's
Yes,
really important to note because Editist would have scored a lot more. Joke that whole swing probably decided the game, even though we just kind of glossed over it. Because Zek is literally 30 more, 20 more. Joke is now 30 less.
yes, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So it's a
So,
60
but they
point swing.
both they both had a power tile, and they both fitted in that spot there where Paul
Yeah,
played joke. Dylan finds
nattiest.
nattiest, superlative of natty. Yep. So that's great. Fine with two T's, three T's, with the N as well.
It is, but now all the S's are gone. So that stun hook is now dead, which is a big deal.
So would you have played tatties and stum and just opened the board up a little bit if you were behind Kenji,
I
the way
might have
Dylan
thought
is?
about it. This is, I mean, usually not, because that's just going to get killed. You're sacrificing points to give away points for not really much benefit. But that top left is now basically dead. Um, Dylan has to play Varric now, and it doesn't feel good. But he's got to do something.
Okay, the top left-hand corner. Varec, Varec.
Yeah, or something like that. He needs to go up there. That's priority number one.
Yeah. He's got three R's. I mean, possibly hooking a R underneath JA for jar and coming along with a parallel play there, but he hasn't really got anything to go under the E at the moment.
I mean, at this point, it's the board is so bad that he doesn't even have to rush because anything he plays just gets killed.
Yeah.
So rather than rush and just let it be blocked, you probably want to try to create something better. But that's where you want to play, and you want to really look at openings that force that area.
Just
Something
trying to
like
read what's in the pool there. Is that 18 tiles in the pool?
yeah, it's grim.
So Dylan trailing by 76 here. I mean, there's a bingo in it, but as you say, no more S's or blanks to come on top of um, ton for stun.
Yeah, just no lines. Yeah, there's Varric. Not surprised.
So Dylan creating a little bit more space for himself. Possible now to play through the A or the R of Varric.
Yeah, Dylan
But
doesn't expect to actually play through the A or the R. He knows Paul's going to block it, but what he needs is he needs space up there so that when Paul does block it, he can create some sort of opportunity to create a line that's more difficult to block. This is easy to block, and I don't think that Dylan thinks that this is going to stay open. But Dylan does expect that when Paul blocks, he might be able to create an opening that's more difficult to block than this one.
mm,
So he's not really opening it for next turn. He's opening it for the turn after.
anyway, Dylan still just one vowel. Okay, HAGMMR, and
Dylan has drawn legitimately terrible this game. there's no way to spin this. It's just been really bad.
oh, and Paul opens up a little bit there with a wait.
It doesn't really open anything. It's blocking the A and the R.
Might be possible to play on top of that though. I mean,
Uh,
not much, not many options there for Dylan.
yeah, I guess it's possible he could like make some four tile overlap through the V or something. It is possible. It's difficult though, very difficult. So Dylan's now looking for openings, and he needs to find something that is difficult to block, probably through the A or the I, creating a hook that is not easy to block. That's what he's looking for. That was the whole point of Varric. Um,
He might be looking
so
at mag under to make jag just at the bottom left there. M,
uh,
Dart, and jag scores quite well.
maybe. I think he knows that never wins.
Scores 34, or even MAM, MAM, in the same spot.
He can't be thrilled with these options. He might, if he does that, he's just giving up, which is reasonable. This isn't a good position, but you always want to try to win the game if you have any shot. So, what gives him a shot? I'm not sure.
Or does he aim just to catch up a little bit?
Well, there's no time. He catches up a little bit and he empties the bag, so he can't bingo anymore. Whereas if he plays something like, I don't know, Gar, for example, through the A and sets up an A hook, at least that's harder to block, although not that hard to block.
So 10 tiles in the pool, or is that 10 tiles
Oh, in
including
the bag.
10 tiles in the bag?
No, it's 3 in the bag.
Ah, 3 in the bag. Okay, yes, that includes Paul's rack. So from Dylan's perspective, there's E, two I's, an O and a U there. So there are more vowels. Okay, nice opening there. So he's played Azo. So he played Rami coming down, making Azo and Mel.
Emptying
So
the bag.
hoping to get some vowels,
I
to
think this
use
is
that
just
R.
giving up. I mean, I don't blame him. He's not going to win, but this is more of a give up play, I think.
And finally draw some vowels, but still not looking great.
No.
GHIIMUR for Dylan.
It's one of his best racks the whole game.
Whereas Paul has DEFGINO. Quite nice tiles.
Yeah. Some games are not competitive. This is Dylan has done well to make this more competitive than it really has been.
Mm. So Paul just plays finger on the triple lane there.
Yeah, and
For
Dylan's just going to play
30
him.
points, yeah. So I think that's
They'll
game
do
over,
it.
really.
Then we'll just play him underneath for 40-ish, and Paul will go out and win. So, despite this saying this, Dylan did have a shot at this game with that whole Zek joke Ada test sequence. Would have changed everything and would have made this game very close. Hard to say who would have won, but that was kind of like the swing of the game. That was the only
True.
shot
I mean,
Dylan had this whole
as,
game.
as and as well as scoring more points, as you said, that would have blocked that spot for Paul, so he wouldn't have been able to put his J there for joke. So
Yeah,
yeah, it would have been
and Editus would have
more
scored more.
much closer after that.
Yeah, and Editus would have scored more than Nadius did because Editus scores like 80, whereas Nadius scores 70. And that's about the margin of this game. It was about 50-point swing, and Dylan's going to
Sure.
lose by about 50.
So Dylan plays him under jar, making jam. So 3 overlaps there.
Mm-hmm.
And Paul looks as though he's going to go out there with on the
OD.
odd and D. Dylan gives a large sigh of relief to get that one over with.
Yeah, pretty painful. Lots of not really many choices for Dylan in most of his racks. He exchanged 3 times. That's never good. Most experts exchange maybe 0.4 times a game, something like that. Maybe 0.3 actually. So once every 3 games, once every 2.5, 3 games, something like that.
Yeah, I mean he changed twice at the very beginning, so yeah, he's been really struggling with the tiles this game. So no surprise there, and some good finds as well by Paul, Fedari, and even Finger on the triple lane at the top there, and Joke scored a lot as well.
Mm-hmm.
Dylan just taking a photo of the board. So yes, he did manage to get Nattiest and Zell, but it just wasn't enough to catch up.
Yeah, some people like to take pictures of all of the games that they play, and he'll
I'm
probably
I'm one of those.
okay.
Not sure if I look at them ever again, but it's a record.
Yeah. Dylan looks pensively. I think he wondering if he could have done anything. I can relate to that all too well. Everybody's always wondering. It's like, well, I could have, and he's probably going to be kicking himself after listening to the commentary if he does that.
I mean, when he came into this match, he was leading. I wonder how things stand at the moment. As far as I know, he was tied first with Blue at the top of the table.
Paul's even shaking his head like this game was just nonsense. Like, so kind of. I mean, Paul's not drawn very well on stream outside of this game. The first 2 games he had on stream that I commentated, he was not drawing very well.
Right. So if you've just joined us, we're day 2 of the Trans-Tasman Scrabble Challenge, and Dylan just played Paul Richards in game number 15. First live stream tournament in New Zealand, thanks especially to a lot of behind the scenes work by Alexander Gandar. Thank you, Alexander.
Thank you, Alex.
And
Alex himself, by the way, is an upcoming player who's getting a lot better very quickly.
He is, yeah. I play him a lot, and I think we're probably level pegging at the Mount Albert Club. and I really enjoyed his documentary, Every Word Counts, which of course did feature Dylan Early and Lawson Sue as well from
Mm-hmm.
the Mount Albert Club and Laura Griffiths.
Yep.
So yeah, Alexander's going from strength to strength. I think we'll see him shoot up in the ratings
Yeah.
very soon.
Sooner or later, he's not going to be able to do this because he's going to be playing.
That's right. Someone else will have to take over. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot. It's good to see some of the new talent actually in the Mount Albert Club. So
Mm-hmm.
as well as the there's a lot of strong seasoned players there like Andrew and Andrew Bradley
Yeah.
and Liz Fagerlund,
Mm-hmm.
Lawson, of course, Lawson Sue, Patrick Carter who's playing,
Yeah.
and but there's also Val Mills, yeah.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, there's some good talent coming through and some very young talent. Yeah, Alexander Gandar, and we've got some younger players at the club as well. So it's
Yeah.
good to see those guys getting involved and playing a few tournaments, um,
Mm-hmm.
and the club going from strength to strength. And I think events like this really do boost the profile of Scrabble in New
Oh, for
Zealand.
sure. Both the live broadcast and the VOD, I think, do a lot. Um,
Hello.
Hello. All right, cool.
Mm.
Okay.
Hi, Paul.
Hello.
Hello.
So, how was that game for you?
Oh, stressful. I'm sure I missed lots of bonuses at the beginning and throughout the game because that's one of my weaknesses.
Well, not too many. I mean, you had the 3S rack, which was didn't have anything. You had some pretty. You found Federy, which was there weren't too many bingos there. That was a good find.
Yep. Oh, thank you.
You find over sows, which is very impressive, actually.
That was very nice with the V and the two O's,
Yep.
Paul. Well
Yep.
done for finding that.
Oversows. Yep. That's what I
Yeah.
get from my wife being a gardener.
Too much sewing.
Yes.
Yeah, for dairies would have also gone down on the S there, but we were both commenting it was great that you grabbed that spot for joke, because
Yep.
that was a high scorer, and Dylan could have scored, played Zek there when he played
Yeah.
Zell
Well, as soon as
and
I
taken that
played,
spot away.
yeah, as soon as I played it, he said, "Oops, missed that spot."
Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, that was the swing. That was his only chance in, I think.
Yep.
Um, yeah.
Yeah, I have this motto of open it up so I can lose, but I've tried very hard not to do that this time.
No. We noticed, actually, we thought you'd set it up on your rack through Kindly. You could have played Eulogy,
Yep.
and you had set that up at one point. Did you did
And
you
then
did you forget?
I just didn't forgot to look for the L because
That
that was
happens.
yeah. I think I had it set up. Then he put kindly down there, and I didn't even think to
Yeah.
look at it.
That
That's
happens
another
to
one of my
everybody.
weaknesses.
It's stressful as well. I mean, knowing people are watching you,
Yes.
Paul, and even commentating on the game. Yeah, it's easy to miss things. Yeah, or forget about them.
Yep.
But a great game. Pleased with
Yes.
that win.
Absolutely. I mean, Dylan, I very rarely beat, so I was very pleased to do that and on live stream.
Great.
Been on
We
live
enjoyed it.
few
Yeah.
games. We do thank you for actually gracing us with your play on the live stream.
Yep. Yeah, that's fine. Okay.
Good
Alright.
luck with the rest of the tournament, Paul.
Yes,
Good luck.
thank you. I've got a lot of redemption to do because I only won 3 on the first
Australia does
rotation.
too.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you
Thanks.
very much. We've enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Well done.
Thank you. Bye.